Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Time to shed some light on running. And as I like to do a lot of things, refereeing and stuff like that, that's paid cardio. But right now, our guy Jake Brophy is doing some terrific things. Let's turn the calendar back here for a minute. Let's go back to the fall and the fact that you had a chance to compete in cross country at the NCAAs. How does that path arrive for you? And were you pleased with the performance that you had that obviously qualified you for a chance to run at the NCAAs?
Yeah, I was definitely pleased with my performance at regionals. It was a little bit of a letdown headed up there, a little bit of bad conditions, but that cross country season definitely set up for hopefully a good indoor season and a following outdoor season. The fitness we gained through that was integral for this. So
let's talk first of all differences here. Obviously, outside with cross country, I mean, you're talking about terrain that you get a chance to walk the course sometimes, maybe jog it a little bit just to see. But what are the challenges of cross country, especially if it's a course that you haven't competed on before?
Like you said, the terrain is definitely different. And when we had got up there, it was actually pretty muddy conditions at nationals this year. That suits some runners well and others not so much. I think I was the latter there. But yeah, it's definitely different. I'd say I enjoy track more just because it's consistent terrain.
I was gonna say let's talk differences now. Obviously, conditions when you're running cross country at any time can change outdoors. Do you feel a great difference when you're running indoors as opposed to outdoors in cross country?
Yeah, absolutely. Track size is definitely different. Having the spectators closer and everything, it just feels like a more energized atmosphere than opposed to an outdoor track. So that's it. Honestly, indoors is a lot of fun for that reason.
For you and your teammates too, let's face it, you all have one of the premier facilities in all of indoor track and field.
Yep.
What does it mean to be able to train and obviously at times compete on that kind of track, because it's obviously one of the best in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing having Wesley Brown Fieldhouse there. Like you said, one of the best facilities in the country. And being able to train on it every day is huge. I think we take it for granted, honestly. There's a lot of programs out there that aren't fortunate enough to have a banked track like that to work out on. And it definitely helps us stay injury-free running on banks as opposed to flat track. So,
in terms of training for just running a mile, as you just did, through the years, what has been the key to you to consistently shave time and shave more time and obviously arrive at the landmark you did here this past weekend?
A lot of it's just training consistency, doing the workouts as coach prescribes them, and like staying healthy, eating what's right and all that kind of stuff. It's really like a holistic, you have to have like your whole life pretty much organized around it. You can't just like show up to practice and do what's there and then like go back to your room and do whatever. So, it's definitely necessary to like organize your life pretty much around it.
How hard is that?
At the academy, it presents some unique challenges that might not be present at other schools, but I think it's definitely doable. But yeah, there are some unique challenges that this institution creates.
What possesses a guy to enjoy competing in the discipline of cross country, and then obviously what you do indoors? How long have you been doing that, and what possessed you to get into that kind of discipline to compete?
I've been running since like fourth grade or so in like small 5Ks out on the roads. But honestly, my favorite part about just the running sport is the like man-to-man competition. A lot of team sports, you don't really get that like mano-a-mano
right.
Competition. And so that's a lot of fun. I mean, boxing, I guess, shares that, and wrestling. But I definitely enjoy that part of it. It's just, it's just you and one other guy in the track. So
I was going to say, there's no timeouts. We can't get a 30-second timeout or anything like that. At the same time, in watching track and field through the years, when you have someone that almost goes out and sets a rabbit-like pace, how hard is it to maintain your race within keeping track of your opponent? Because you got to have, obviously, an awareness of what your opponents are doing, but yet stay within your own race. How do you handle that challenge?
A lot of it's, it's done before the gun goes off. You're focusing on like what you want your race plan to be, and then just kind of executing that when the gun goes off. And sometimes those rabbits actually help. The meet in Boston, where I was able to get under 4, it was like 5 or 6 guys also got under 4. And so having that group of guys coming through that time is huge. It's a lot different than just being out there on the track by yourself.
When you think about all the people that have competed here and the quality that has been here, what does that milestone mean to you?
It's honestly since youngster year, sophomore year, that's something that we've been working towards, coach and I, and as a team. And so that was huge for me. And I know there's definitely some guys that came through this place that might have been capable of it, and just being able to go up there with that race and have coach get me into that heat, that was huge. Like that's almost just as big as putting in the preparation. So
What has he meant to the program? Obviously, you've been a part of it and been able to, benefit from his training methods. What's been working for you, and what's allowed you to have that kind of work ethic with him?
Yeah. When I got here, the track program and the cross country program both were headed by like very long-standing historic coaches, and I really enjoyed being coached by them. They were great, huge mental aspect coaches. But when Lansel got here, he brought an air of modernity to the sport that we hadn't really seen yet. And then with Coach Cook as well, it's night and day from 2 years ago. Just the things that we're doing now with the whole recruiting process and everything like that. And so I'm really excited for the guys that are here, that are just now getting here, because they're going to have these coaches for the next 4 years, and I'm really excited to see what they do. So.
What goals are left out there for you here? Obviously, we're not too far away from when you go walk across there at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. What are the short-term goals and then long-term goals down the line here?
We have Army in 2 weeks, Patriot Leagues a couple weeks after that. So maybe squeeze in a 3K time somewhere in between there, but definitely focused on winning those 2 meets. And then when outdoor comes around, definitely targeting the regional and national meet, as well as beating Army and winning Patriots. So.
All right, big fella, congratulations on what you've accomplished so far, and good luck with the rest of the year.
Appreciate it, sir.
You got it. Jake Brophy joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.